Helen, let's talk about what it means for the program to have only the second perfect non-conference schedule in history.
Um, I think it's great. It shows that we're working hard and that we prepare ourselves well, and that obviously you have to have talent too. I mean, you can work really hard and prepare yourself, and if you don't have the talent, and I just think from top to bottom, people are really understanding what we want to try to do, and so I think it's really exciting for us. But we just talked about how the preseason was really just laying a foundation for getting into conference, so I think that helps us come into the conference confident. Especially since we had a number of close games and a lot of them on the road, so that we can come in and think that we can compete, that we can find a way to win games. So I think it's more about what that did to prepare us for a really tough Northwest Conference.
And speaking of Northwest Conference, we were able to go on the road and open with a couple of wins at Willamette and Lewis and Clark, and did it maybe without having to rely on the strong outside shooting that we've gotten a lot of the season. But in other ways, defense, rebounding. Talk about those wins.
Yeah, I mean, it was, we didn't shoot the ball particularly well, I think, coming off a break and then just trying to get reps in to shoot when you have 4 games in 8 days is a little bit hard. So I think some of it's just getting the reps and having that confidence. But I think people are taking away what we do well. That's what happens when you start conference. And in those first games, you have to figure out, hey, what are people doing to us, and then make those adjustments. But because we can defend and we can do some other things, we have opportunities to still win games when we don't have a great shooting night. And we talk about that a lot, about there's going to be times where you have poor shooting nights or things just don't necessarily go your way. The ball just bounces weird, and you have to create your opportunities. And we did that really well against Willamette with our defense, and then we found a way, in stretches against Lewis and Clark to do the same thing.
Tomorrow night we play defending champion Whitman, who might have gotten off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but sure looks like they're rounding into form. What do we expect from the Missionaries?
That's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, they're not as good. I'm like, they just have people in new roles, and as they're learning the roles, it just takes some time. And I think the scores this week can show that they've kind of figured it out. They're gonna be a tough-minded defensive team. They defend personnel really well. It's probably as well as anybody in our conference. They're really balanced. I mean, John's obviously is their leading scorer, but then after that, it's a bunch of kids that average between 9 and 6 points. Play 10 players, double-digit minutes. So, they'll be well rested as well. And it's always a battle. It's those Tuesday games. We haven't played this early in the conference season in a long time, so it'll be a little bit interesting to see if there's less fatigue, more fatigue just coming off a break. But it's always a battle, so it should be an exciting game. And we'll have to defend them well. We'll have to really rebound well. They're out-rebounding opponents by 10, and so that's probably the biggest stat that just really sticks out for what they do well and where they're just dominating people. And that's just a physicality and a mentality and having that attitude to get it done, and they always bring that.
And then Friday against Linfield, one of the most improved teams in the conference this year.
Yeah, and I haven't even gotten to them yet. So the 4 games in 8 days, so I know, I've looked at their scores and I know who's doing things well for them, but really what they're going to bring and how they're getting those players, that's what starts on Wednesday, or maybe tomorrow afternoon if I have time. But that will start Wednesday, and Thursday we'll work really hard on them. But yeah, they're very improved, have a lot of players back, very talented team, seem to be pretty well balanced and really battling people.